This programme looks at how one RE teacher deals with the concept of sacrifice and martyrdom with a Year 7 class. This lesson is part of a 6-lesson series devised by Catherine Kane, which looks at sacrifice across different religions. So far, the class has discussed the concept of sacrifice generally and has explored a Muslim story. Today's lesson is about the martyrdom of Guru Tegh Bahadur, and the aim is to get the pupils not only knowing the story, but developing the skills of insight and empathy.
Teachers of religious education need to answer the question, how am I going to handle the awkward, sometimes shocking stories that each religion contains? You could avoid those, but it's better to tackle them head on. Of course, pupils will learn about the religion by learning a story of foundations or origins, but they can also learn from the religion if, as in these lessons, the concept of commitment is illustrated with reference to sacrifice.
Okay, last lesson we were talking about the Muslim story of sacrifice of Ibrahim and Ishmael, and Ishmael didn't have to be sacrificed and Ibrahim didn't have to sacrifice his son. But today we're looking at a story from Sikhism, and we're looking at somebody who really did give up their life, and his name is Guru Tegh Bahadur. So I'm going to give you an information sheet and we're going to read about what happened to him. In the lesson about Guru Tegh Bahadur, the story is often very unfamiliar to the children that I've been teaching. So I have to make sure that at the beginning of the lesson they really understand what the story is all about and really engage with the characters in the story. And I do that by having his story written out on a worksheet. But I make sure that the children read the story out loud as a class. Sarah, do you want to start for us? Yeah, Guru Tegh Bahadur.
Guru Tegh Bahadur was the 9th of the 10 Sikh gurus.
I stop them quite frequently through this telling of the story, just to check that they're understanding what they've read, and to also push them in their understanding of what is actually happening.
He was persecuted followers of the Sikh and Hindu religions.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Who knows what the word persecuting means?
Does it mean kill?
It can involve killing, yeah.
Punishing someone.
Punishing someone, yeah, we're getting more of the idea. So it may be involve killing, maybe involve punishing. What does it mean to persecute somebody? What do you think?
Does it mean like put them in jail for the rest of their life?
It might involve putting them in jail, yeah.
Of what they believe.
Excellent, yes. So persecution is hurting people because of either what they believe or who they are. Jennifer, could you read next for us, please?
Both Sikhs and Hindus were being asked to give...
When the children are reading through the story, I want to get them to empathise with the main characters and put themselves into that situation. And so I include information about the characters, small things like maybe what the Guru's nickname was. Okay, so his name means brave sword, Tegh Bahadur, but he liked to be called Tegh Bahadur, which means, what does it mean? Well, brave cooking pot. Okay, what do you think that tells us about him? Martin, you haven't said anything today.
Was he like a family person?
I think his family was very important to him, yeah. Okay, anyone else? Callum?
He might have liked cooking.
He might have liked cooking, yeah. Maybe he was the Jamie Oliver of his day or something, yeah? Okay.
It may mean he doesn't like fighting.
I think that's very true. He was very good at fighting, he was very brave and all of those sorts of things, but maybe fighting wasn't the thing that he thought was most important, but family and looking after others and cooking for others was the most important thing. Okay, so we got to the point in the story where the emperor has said, I will give you lots and lots of presents if you change your religion. If it was you being offered things, what do you think you might have been offered? If it was nowadays, what sort of things do you think somebody would offer you?
£1 million.
Okay, for £1 million you might be tempted to give up something that was really important to you. But he thought that his religion was far, far more important than to give up for lots of wealth and all of those sorts of things. Okay, so instead of going with the bribes and things, the emperor then says, right, I'm going to chop off the heads of 3 of your friends unless you give up your religion. And so the emperor came and he chopped off the heads of 3 of his friends right in front of him. How do you think he felt about that? Harry?
Upset and sick.
Upset and sickened, yeah. What do you think?
Guilty.
Guilty, yeah. Why do you think he would have felt guilty?
He was just basically killed 3 of his friends.
Okay, so you think he might have felt responsible for their deaths, because if he'd have given up his religion, his friends might have survived, mightn't they? Yep. Okay, Jennifer, what do you think?
Angry.
Angry? Who would he have been angry with?
People chopped his friend's head off.
Okay, the emperor and the friends that he chopped the heads off. And now the emperor is saying, it's your life this time. I'm going to cut your head off unless you actually give up your religion. So, what do you reckon is going to happen?
He's not going to give it up.
I don't think he's going to give up as well. Okay, so the emperor ordered that the guru's head be cut off, and that is exactly what the emperor had done. Okay, so after, I really want to encourage children to feel empathy with the different characters in the story. Just really sort of like think what it would have been like to be there, how it would have felt to be some of the characters that are involved. And so we do that through freeze frames. You have to act out a part of the story, and then when you come to the important bit, everybody has to freeze. So it's like somebody would be taking a photograph of how everybody was looking at that moment in time in the story. Now, because it's a still moment in time or whatever, you need to think about your body. Think about, you know, do I need my arms on my hips like this, or do I need to be scratching my head or going, or whatever. You need to think about your face, okay, as well. You need to think about how you're feeling. So we're thinking about the people's emotions in this story, and you really need to show on your face how the people in these stories are feeling. So we're going to have a group of 4 there, a group of 4 here. When the children go into the freeze frame groups, they are given a card with just one very small aspect of the story on it, but what I consider to be an important aspect. And so it enables the children to focus in so that they get good understanding of the characters that are involved. Okay, your group are going to be doing a freeze frame about Guru Tegh Bahadur telling his family that he's going to go and see the emperor, okay? His life is in danger and he's got to tell his family, I'm going to go off and see that evil emperor, okay? You group of 3. Okay, your scenario is the emperor tries to persuade the guru to give up his faith. Okay, so you've got to think, how will the emperor be feeling when he talks to Guru Tegh Bahadur? And how will Guru Tegh Bahadur be thinking as well?
I'll be the Guru Tegh Bahadur, you'll be the Emperor, I'll be the executioner. Okay, you could be the Sikh who told the Guru's head back to the family.
The executioner can be like that, and he'll be face down.
So we're going to actually do it practically, standing up and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Shh. Right, we'll go with that group first then, okay? So if you'd like to come into the space in the middle and show us your little drama, and then finish with the freeze frame showing us the emotions that everybody felt at this time.
Please tell that the evil emperor to not sacrifice us, priests, please.
Come on, people.
Okay, so we've got the freeze here. How are you feeling in this situation? You've just asked him.
We're feeling happier because he's said that he'd look after us.
So you're feeling happier that he said he'd look after you. How did you feel when he when you asked him?
I felt a bit scared because he might say no, go away.
Okay, he might have said no. Guru, how did you feel when they asked you? Was it an easy decision? No, not an easy decision. Okay, so it's going to be a hard thing for you. Well done, that was very good. Okay, right. Number 2 then. Who had I think the task is very good for children of all abilities, because some students may have great acting skills but wouldn't actually be able to put onto paper those sort of things that they actually are discussing and showing me.
Now my father is dead, I am the new guru. What am I going to do?
The actual freeze frames come out in lots of different ways. Some of them have really thought about all the detail they want in, and they have really put loads of stuff into their productions, but others that can be quite simple.
I am going to see the Emperor.
But they're all still showing that the children have understood the story and that they've empathised with the characters in that scenario.
Now I'm going to try and persuade you to give up your beliefs.
I want the drama to come from them. It's got to be them that has thought out what it is that they're going to say and do and how they react, so that I can then see that they have actually understood the different characters and what is happening in the story.
Going once, twice.
3 times. Put him in front of his friends who are going to be tortured.
Okay, fantastic.
These bloody stories from different religious traditions have to be recognised as holy to some, but not to everybody. When the teacher deals with these controversial stories, then recognising their holiness comes first, and it demands great sensitivity and respect from the teacher in handling them. But if that leads the teacher to be unconfident in actually working with the stories, then good learning won't happen. So the combination is needed: utmost respect for these holy words, but thoughtful, vigorous learning, handling of the stories for every child in the classroom.
What we're going to do next then is you're going to put your tables back, and you'll notice that on the back of the sheet there are some speech bubbles here. I want you to imagine that you could travel back in time. What questions would you ask each one of these people? We've got the Guru, the Emperor, the Guru's wife, and the Sikh who took his Guru's head back to the family. Whenever we get to the part where we're doing the hot seating at the front, it gives me an opportunity to really see how much the children have learnt and progressed during the lesson. The questions that they all write down on their sheets, they give me an opportunity to see that the children have actually thought about the characters involved in the story, and that for them those characters have actually become real people and are not just historical religious figures. Okay, so we no longer have Abigail, Lexi, Raquela and Joel. We have the Emperor, Guru Tegh Bahadur, the Sikh who took the head back to the family, and the Guru's wife. Okay, put your hand up if you would like to ask a question. We're going to have questions to the Emperor first, okay? So, Jessica, do you want to go up to the Emperor and ask him your question? Whenever children were asking the questions, I was particularly interested in the way that one of the students asked, what would you have done to have changed the Guru's mind?
What do you think would be the best thing to change the Guru's mind on changing his belief?
I tried everything I could. I think the best thing was giving him something that my son couldn't actually have.
If you could try something else, what would you try for if you could actually change his religion?
Letting him be the next heir to the throne.
I thought it was really interesting the way that it actually boiled down to power, that the Emperor said he was willing to give the Guru the throne, but I think it showed great understanding of what the Emperor was all about at that time.
Why didn't you give up your belief?
I didn't give up my belief because I feel very strongly about it. I feel it's the right belief to follow.
Seeing the students' reactions to the questions, they've really taken on board how those characters would have felt or may have felt, and are able to give really sort of like thoughtful answers to their questions. It showed so much progression from the first lesson, where sacrifice was a brand new topic to them.
How did you feel when your husband died?
I was upset because I didn't actually get to see him before he died.
Okay, fantastic. You have all been so good. Time is always a problem with this lesson, because there is so much that children get involved in and so much that they are able to talk about and really connect with the story.